I'm Dr. Kristen R. Bromley. This video series, which is part of my online music academy, specifically accompanies Note Reading Book 3 from my Method book series. Like all my books, this selection is available to purchase through Amazon and Google Play. For help, see the links in the description below. In the videos which are part of this specific course, I progress through the lessons in Note Reading Book 3. With the book, you can work through all the songs and exercises, and in the process come to know the entire fretboard and master the skill of playing written notes all along the neck. Alright, let's get to jamming in this lesson. Hi, I'm Dr. Kristen Bromley. Welcome back for lesson 20 that goes with Note Reading Book 3. In this lesson, we're working on B major. So with this lesson, kind of like previous lessons that have been like this, like lesson 18, 16, 14, and so on, we will use the exercises to practice with this key from the previous lessons. So all we have to do is change the key signature. But let's go ahead and take a look at the key of B major. So we have single octave scales, and there on page 177 we've got directions for how to use the exercises from the previous lesson to work on the key of B major. But we've got single octave exercises. Let's look at the single octave scales. So we have a B at the 7th fret of the 6th string, and we can play scale form 1 if we put our middle finger on that. We also have scale form 1 in first position with our middle finger on the B at the 2nd fret of the 5th string. We can do on that same string that scale up an octave, so my middle finger's at the 14th fret. On the 4th string, we've got the B at the 9th fret, and we've got the single octave scale there. And then on the 3rd string, we have the B at the 4th fret, and we've got scale form 1 there. For the alternate form, or scale form 2, I put my pinky on the 7th fret of the 6th string, and I've got scale form 2. Then up at the 14th fret on the 5th string, if I put my pinky there, I've got scale form 2. And if I put my pinky at the 9th fret of the 4th string, I've got scale form 2 there. So, those are all the single octave major scale forms, and I can use the exercises following the directions from the previous lesson. We'll look at that here in a second. But before we do, let's look at the minor ones. So, scale form 1 for G sharp minor, I've got my index finger at the 4th fret on the 6th string. And I've got scale form 1. If I go up to the 11th fret of the 5th string, I've got scale form 1. If I stick my index finger on the 6th fret of the 4th string, I've got scale form 1, and if I stick my index finger at the 1st fret of the 3rd string, I've got scale form 1. So that's the, and I could also do that one up an octave actually. 13th fret on that 3rd string. I can alternatively do scale form 2. So I started that off with my pinky on the G sharp 4th fret of the 6th string. If I go up to the 11th fret of the 5th string, I've got it there. And if I go up to the 6th fret of the 4th string, I've got it there. So those are the single octave scales. If we flip on over to page 178, we'll see the 5 positional forms. So the lowest position that we can play B major in, or G sharp minor, is down in first position / 2nd position. And I'm going to demonstrate these with the major scale, though we also know that if we started on the G sharp instead of the B, we're going to get the minor scale. But it's the same notes in the same positions. So I have a B major scale, and then I've got part of scale form 2 above that, and then coming back down with scale form 1, part of scale form 2. So now Now we can read there and we can play there in the key of B major, but because we're using the songs and exercises from the previous lesson and that position doesn't work for B flat major without using open strings, there aren't exercises written for that position specifically, but you could read in some of the songs and exercises from other positions and adapt them as needed for playing in that position or shifting out when it goes outside of that range if you want to practice there. Okay, so the first one that works with the songs and exercises from the previous lesson, or the next one up the neck, we've got our pinky on the B at the 7th fret on the 6th string, and we're in 4th and 3rd position here. So we start off with scale form 2, then we've got scale form 1, back to scale form 2, and then just a piece of scale form 1 on the bottom. So the next position up puts us with our middle finger on that B note, so we are in 6th position and we start with scale form 1, then we got scale form 2, a piece of scale form 1 on top, back to scale form 2, back to scale form 1, and just a piece of scale form 2 on the bottom. The next position up is in position 8/9. My middle finger is on the 4th string at the 9th fret, playing scale form 1. Then I got a piece of scale form 2, coming back down with 1. Then I got a piece of scale form 2 on the bottom. So the next position up, I've got my pinky on the 14th fret of the 5th string, and I got scale form 2, part of scale form 1, scale form 2, part of scale form 1. And then I can do the same thing I did in 1st and 2nd position, I can do up here in 13th and 14th, so scale form 1, part of scale form 2, scale form 1, part of scale form 2. Okay, so those are all the scales you can do. Of course, you can do shifting between positions. Let's take a look at how we would go ahead and use the songs and exercises from the previous lesson to practice with B major. If we flip on over to page 158, we can do this. Now, these keys that have more accidentals, sharps, lots of sharps and flats, we don't usually use them as often. We don't come across them as often, but sometimes we do have to read in them. You could be jumping to this lesson just because you need to practice reading in the key of B major or G sharp minor. You could be coming to it because you've just finished the key of B flat major and G minor. You could think, I don't think I'm ready to work on this, and you could skip over it and go on to the next lesson and work on 3 flats. So these lessons, once we get past lesson 11, even 10, then we start to get into where we're working all these different keys, and it's about the same challenge except that we've got sharps and flats, and you can actually skip around in them if there's different keys that you need to practice. But you can also go through systematically. The reason they sit next to each other here is because reading in B major and reading in B flat major is very similar, the way that we process it. So all we have to do to use these songs and exercises is change the key signature. So now on page 158, instead of having 2 flats in the key signature, we have 5 sharps. And this is what's kind of cool. Reading between B flat major and B major is just a matter of what position we're in. As far as where the pitches look on the staff, as I've explained before, and where they're situated within the scale system is the same for B flat major versus B major. We're going to have, in playing the B, we're going to have some sort of B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and so on right there, whether we're playing B major or B flat major. The difference is the accidentals. So we have a B natural, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, and B for the key of B, but in B flat we have B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, and B flat. So it changes whether we have sharps or flats. But the way we read it, the only difference for us is really what position we're in. So when reading in B flat major, right here with this single octave scale, I can read it with my middle finger, scale form 1, B flat. If I'm going to read it in B major, I'm going to read it alternatively, middle finger on the B note at the 7th fret, right there in 6th position. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that, demonstrate it, give you one. I'm not going to play through all of them, but I will do one so you've got that as a reference. And you can go ahead and do it if you want to. But here we're going to do exercise 1. So we're going to have 1 and 2 and ready and go and... Okay, and that wraps us up for this lesson. It's amazing to have been doing so much note reading. It's awesome. Keep at it. Hope you're having fun. Take care, and we'll see you again. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. For help with other guitar playing skills, check out more of my method books and the numerous lessons available as part of my online academy here on YouTube. You can find more information about me and my products at kristenbromley.com. Take care.